Christianity is a religious system designed to help a human being overcome their carnal nature. The carnal nature is the animal nature that causes us to sin. A sin is an error or mistake where morality is concerned. Christianity teaches one to overcome that nature in order to eliminate sin and live a morally righteous life. The Christian religion is best when understood symbolically. The evil serpent, known as the devil, is the reptilian brain. This can be understood from a biological perspective. This is the evil inclination that resides in people. Christianity is a three-step process which involves overcoming the serpent through the destruction of the flesh in order to bring the spirit into dominance. The serpent is the evil inclination that resides in us all, represented as the snake. The symbolic interpretation of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ is the destruction of the flesh, meaning the elimination of the carnal nature that causes sin in order to be left with the spirit as the remaining power. This is a process that needs to be implemented. You actually have to do it. You have to follow the process and do it. Worshipping what Jesus did on the cross is fine if you so choose to, if you believe. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But you must undergo the process metaphysically. You have to go through metaphysically what the biblical narrative describes Jesus as undergoing physically. Being beaten and bruised is the hardships of life that humble us into submission in order for us to be spiritual people. As the preachers say, the only way to get the precious oil is to crush the olive. And the only way to find the beauty in people is to crush their ego, the carnal nature. When the spirit gains dominance over the human system, you become illuminated. This is the Christ, the spiritual power that results from denying your carnal nature. And this really is what Christianity is all about. The destruction of the flesh to bring forth the predominance of the spirit. This is what it meant when it said, the heel of the man shall bruise the head of the serpent. It means that you'll overcome the serpent, the carnal nature, the evil inclination, your reptilian brain. You can overcome it through a process of denying that nature and becoming more spiritual in order for you to be illuminated. You want to eliminate the carnal nature so you can become illuminated. So you need to eliminate in order to illuminate. And this is what Christianity is all about. So we must approach the text from a symbolic interpretive stance. It's about symbolic interpretation of this sacred religious writing. And once again, I'm not here to contravene or contradict anyone's theology. You can believe what you believe, and that's perfectly fine. But you want to make sure you don't fall into the trap of making your motivation for righteousness and morality out of guilt consciousness, because that wouldn't be good. Your motivation for being a good person should not come from a guilt consciousness because of a narrative that a righteous man died for you. You should want to be motivated to be better, to evolve spiritually, because that should be your desire, to evolve as a spiritual being in order to elevate the soul into the higher keys, the higher levels, the higher spiritual dimensions where it's more beautiful. So you should have a pure motivation. It shouldn't be out of guilt consciousness. So I want all people, Christians in particular, and all people to understand that the Bible is an instruction manual. It's coded information. It's spiritual information coded and written in a storybook format. And you have to unlock the meaning, the interpretive value of the story in order to access the message. Otherwise, you're not going to get the message, you're not going to implement the message, and you're not going to benefit from the message. This is a process that you must undergo. It's a process that you must do. So I repeat, it's about overcoming the evil serpent, the snake, through the denial or destruction of the flesh in order to bring about the dominance of the spirit. Once the spirit takes over the human system, this is illumination, Christ illumination. Christ in you, the hope of all glory. You become a spiritual being and you gain spiritual power. But you have to be disciplined. This is why Jesus had disciples. He put these men through the program. You got to go through the program. Because this is a 3-step program and a 3-step process. And you have to discipline yourself or be a disciple of Christ in order to get the result. So if you want the result, you got to go through the process. Worshiping the process is not enough. You have to do it. Believing in the doctrine, the narrative is not enough. You have to do it. You have to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to reach your destination or the intended purpose of the scripture, of the religious system. You're not going to achieve the goal. Christianity has an intended goal and a purpose, and that goal is illumination. And the only way to get it is through the sacrifice of self-denial.